A few thoughts on Brennus, having played it. So I've just played Brennus in pre-release a couple of weeks ago before the patch, and then I've just played a few matches in it again now, just to remind myself what it's like. And I think I've got a handle on what I think it's like. So this isn't meant to be a review. This is just my thoughts after playing a few games in the ship. So this is based on Henri. It's basically an Henri variant, but it is quite different for a number of reasons. The main one, obviously, is the caliber. So this has 305mm guns in 7 barrels. So it's got double, and then a triple on the back, which is different to Henri. And this doesn't have all the fancy frills that Henri has, because you just get these 3 consumables. So you get a heal and a reload booster. Henri obviously gets like the kitchen sink in terms of stuff, particularly the reload booster. And so really the difference between the two ships, when it boils down to it, is the gunnery. So the ballistics are the same. The caliber is different, but the ballistics are the same. So you've got same dispersion within, like, there is a very slight difference if you go and look at the graphs, but it's so small it doesn't matter. So you get the same ballistics, but with bigger shells. You do, so unlike a lot of the other supercruisers, you do get cruiser dispersion. So this is like Siegfried, where you get the big guns but the tight dispersion, which is really super nice, because it means that if there's like a cruiser making a dangerous turn, you've got 305mm AP, and your gun angles are actually really, really good. And so you can slap that cruiser, because chances are you can put quite a few of your 7 shells into their citadel. So it's quite nice for that. You have a solid rate of fire. It's for 305mm, because you don't have that many barrels. So you have 11.9 as I've got it set up. So it's around about that kind of ballpark, depending on your build. And that's in contrast to Henri's guns, which are lower caliber but have that reload booster available. So while Henri takes advantage of mistakes by popping the reload booster, so if someone makes a dangerous turn in front of you, a destroyer appears out of a smoke screen in front of you, you can pop that reload booster. You desperately need to get a fire on a disappearing battleship before it disappears and heals. You can pop that reload booster. Brennus doesn't get an access to that. What it does get is just consistently solid, like 12-ish second reload, 305mm guns, which obviously have very good AP, but also you've got quite high caliber HE, so you have 51-ish, I think, HE pen and very good fire chance. And the shells just keep coming. Every 12 seconds, the shells just keep coming. And so you can really start to lay down the damage, even though your DPM is actually not that high. Just the way that the guns are is very consistent if you can aim. In terms of maneuverability, you're basically an Henri, so you're very fast. You get the speed boost. You can turn quite well. You can obviously accelerate very well. And so positionally, it's going to play fairly similarly to Henri. You don't quite get the range that Henri gets. So you might need to play a little bit more aggressive, a little bit closer. Henri, maybe some people like to play it a little further back. But because the hull's the same, it's going to play quite similarly in terms of the hull. But the difference is in the gunnery. So yeah, I really like it. I think the disappointing part of Brennus is the fact that because it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Henri has, it kind of feels a bit expensive as a RP ship, because Henri is literally tech tree. It's free. You can just grind to it up, down the tech tree line, and you don't have to pay any additional resources for it. It's just credits and time, basically. And you get this amazing ship. Henri is a really, really amazing, really fun cruiser. Whereas Brennus, by comparison, is a little bit sedate and a little bit boring even. I really like it, but you could consider it to be a little bit boring compared to Henri. And yet it's research bureau, so you have to do line resets and spend a lot of time on getting it, potentially. Unless you just want to burn some resources. And so it's a bit of an odd choice for an RP ship. Because, why would you have this when you already have access to Henri and some of the other heavy French cruisers as well? And so it's just a bit of an odd ship in that sense, in the way that it's positioned in the game. It would kind of make more sense if this was a tech tree ship and Henri was some kind of special ship. But that's obviously not how it is. So bottom line, I like the ship. It's consistent. It's solid. You can get really good games out of it if you're a good cruiser player. The guns are very consistent. They're very fun to use because they're consistent. But it's not Henri, and I think although it's a good ship, this suffers a little bit from I'd rather be playing syndrome, because when you're in this, you can't help but think, if I was in an Henri right now, I might be having more fun. But it is good, and if you like the Henri hull, and you like the French cruisers in general, you like the 305-ish millimeter caliber, I think it's a solid thing. If you've got the resources to get it, I would say get it.